Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Sakta Manaha Partha Yogam Injunmadasrayaha Asamsayam Samagram Mam Yatha Gyasasita Srinu. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Lord said, Mai, to me, Asakta Manaha, mind attached, Partha, O son of Pritha, Yogam, self-realization, Injan, practicing, Mat Asraya, in the conscious of me, Krishna consciousness, Asamsayam, without doubt, Samagram, completely, Mam, me, Yatha, how, Jnasasi, you can know, Tat, that, Sinu, try to hear. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead says, now hear, O son of Pittha, how by practicing yoga in full conscious of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. Please respond. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now hear, O son of Pritha, how by practicing yoga in full conscious of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. Purport. In the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the nature of Krishna consciousness is fully described. Krishna is full in all opulences, and how he manifests such opulences is described here. Also, 4 kinds of fortunate people who become attached to Krishna and 4 kinds of unfortunate people who never take to Krishna are described in this chapter. In the first 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the living entity has been described as a non-material spirit soul capable of elevating himself to the self-realization by different type of yogas. At the end of the 6th chapter, it has been clearly stated that the steady concentration of the mind upon Krishna, or in other words, Krishna consciousness, is the highest form of all yoga. By concentrating one's mind upon Krishna, one is able to know the absolute truth completely, but not otherwise. Impersonal Brahmajyoti or localized Paramatma realization is not perfect knowledge of the absolute truth, because it is partial. Full and scientific knowledge is Krishna, and everything is revealed to the person in Krishna consciousness. In complete Krishna consciousness, one knows that Krishna is ultimate knowledge beyond any doubt. Different type of yogas are only stepping stones on the path of Krishna consciousness. One who takes directly to Krishna consciousness automatically knows about Brahmajyoti Paramatma in full. The practice of Krishna consciousness yoga, one can know everything in full, namely the absolute truth, the living entity, the material nature, and their manifestation with paraphernalia. One should therefore begin yoga practice as directed in the last verse of 6th chapter. Concentration of mind upon Krishna as the Supreme is made possible by prescribed devotional service in 9 different forms, of which Sarvanam is the first and most important. The Lord therefore says to Arjuna, Tasrinu, hear from me. No one can be greater authority than Krishna. Therefore, by hearing from him, one receives the greatest opportunity to become a perfectly Krishna consciousness person. One has therefore to learn from Krishna directly or from a pure devotee of Krishna, and not from a non-devotee upstart popped up with academic educations. And Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, this process of understanding Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, is described in the 2nd chapter of the 1st canto as follows. Sunmatam Sokatha Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtanaha Udantastaya Vadrani Vidhunati Sri Satam Nasta Prayasu Avagresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Tadara Jastama Bhava Kamulo Bhadayaschaye Chetetairana Vidham Titam Sapte Prasidati एवं प्रसन्न मनसो भगवत भक्ति योगतः भगवत तत्व विज्ञानम मुक्त संगस्य जायते विद्यते हृदयगंथि छिद्यन्ते सर्व संशया हीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि दृष्टा एवा मनीश्वरे To hear about Krishna from a Vedic literature or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, act as a best wishing friend and purify the devotee who constantly engaged in hearing of him. In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in devotional service of the Lord. By development of devotional service, one becomes free from the modes of passion and ignorance. Thus, material lost and avarice are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in this position of pure goodness, become enlivened by devotional service, and understand the science of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of asamsa and samadhi, understanding of the supreme absolute truth, personality of Godhead. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna, from his devotee in Krishna consciousness, can one understand the science of Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, these are very important verses. Krishna is personally explaining that how to make the human life perfect. So, this title I have given that how to make the human life, perfection of human life. Because this, as Prabhupada is mentioning, that first 6 chapter is talking about the living entity, particularly about the living entity. The next 7 to 12 about the God, about the Krishna, and 13 to 18 about this material world. So, in the introduction, Prabhupada has given Bhagavad Gita. So, Bhagavad Gita entails 5 subject matters. First is Jiva, living entity. Who am I? Where am I? What is this material world? And also Jiva and what I am doing here. That is karma. And under what influence I am doing, that is time. And who is conducting, controlling everything, that is Ishvara. The 5 basic truth of absolute personality of Godhead has been given, and Bhagavad Gita is given, that first of all, Jiva. So therefore, Prabhupada said the first 6 chapter is about this, particularly, mostly is speaking about that how Arjuna is lamenting, because he's thinking that very first chapter is called Visada Yoga. Also, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is written in Bhagavad Gita, Visada Yoga. That how the living entities, how Arjuna is bewildered by the identity. So he's lamenting, lamentations, because Jasatma Buddhi Kunape Tridhatuke. So the identity crisis, the first chapter, due to this identity crisis, Arjuna is thinking that these are my kith and kin, so I am not going to kill them. He refused, reluctant to kill them. So in second chapter, Lord begins or dismantle the very fundamental conception that is called, I am not this body, I am a spirit soul. So he said that dehinam sminjatha dehi komuram jobanam chattatha dehantara prakti. So the very beginning, it's spirit soul, he is the spirit soul. And third chapter, when you know you are the spirit soul, your identity, you have to work. So therefore, karma yoga is coming, how to act. And you cannot act without knowledge. The 4th chapter is transcendental knowledge. And 5th chapter, the result of all the verse, that is action in Krishna consciousness. And 6th chapter is telling the meditation. And after explaining all the yoga system, yoga means connecting, linking. The whole Bhagavad Gita is called yoga system. Krishna also explaining that whole Bhagavad Gita is a yoga system. In chapter 4, text 3, he says that this particular Bhagavad Gita, Saiva Maitya Aga Yoga Prakta Puratana. This yoga system means linking with God. Not that this so-called yoga nowadays doing. It is most used and most misunderstood word in the world. Because yoga means they are thinking that some practicing kind of fat reducing exercises. But it is not fat reducing. Yoga means so linking with God. Yoga Prakta Puratana. Krishna say that very ancient science of relationship with Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee and friend. So this connection, relationship is now forgotten. Maya means nothing but the forgetfulness of Krishna. That is Maya. Otherwise, Maya, Daivai Saguna Maya is Maya, my energy. It's transcendental. Only thing that when you forget Krishna, that is Maya. So here, Krishna said that relationship is forgotten. So I am now speaking this Bhagavad Gita as yoga system to revive our relationship, revive our Krishna consciousness. That is whole idea of the purpose of Bhagavad Gita, to revive our relationship at present, which has been forgotten. So here Krishna is telling that because we have turned away from the Lord. So how Lord is so merciful. So recently we have this Christmas. So I was writing that how the mercy is beautiful than the justice. So why? Because if you think of justice, if you apply the justice, then everybody has to be punished. Everybody is like Jagai Madai. Everybody is like a Jagai Madai. It's like a abominable. Everybody is condemned. The very existence in the material world itself is a sufficient evidence that we are condemned. We are criminals. In a prison house, anybody in the prison house is a criminal. So, therefore, this justice, if Krishna comes, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, he gives the justice, then everybody has to be punished. Therefore, just like Jesus Christ, he knew that he has a 12 disciple. He knows, one day before in the supper, he knew that one of my disciple, Judah, will betray me. And next day he was praying in the garden, and coincidental, not coincidental, it was planned. And Judah came with all this soldier and crucified him. And he knew that these people, but he's thinking, Judah is thinking, I'm exploiting the Jesus Christ. No, Prabhupada said that Jesus Christ is not to be his son of the God, his representative of the God. He cannot be. Rather, he is exploiting this person. Actually, he's showing his mercy. Therefore, he says that my Father, please forgive them. They do not know what they say. So he took the justice stand aside and bearing all the suffering. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also same thing, he come. The beautiful verses, he say that, what is that? The beautiful verses, he say that, 820. 820 is very, Adi 820, the beautiful verses. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's 820. हेना प्रेम श्री चैतन्य दिला जथा तथा जगाई मदाई पर्यंत अन्यर की कथा. So Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has freely given the love of Krishna everywhere and anywhere, even to the most fallen Jagai Madai. What then to speak of those who are already pious and elevated? Prabhupada is writing here also about the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mercy, how he is merciful to things. And in this also, he has mentioned about the Jesus Christ. So this Krishna is very merciful. We have turned away from the Krishna at present moment. Therefore, we are suffering. So Lord is coming and explaining this Bhagavad Gita to revive our relationship. There's a beautiful verses in this regard. So he say that Hitvatma Maya Rachita Grihapakta Swistriya Tam Visanti Anichanta Vasudeva Paran Mukhaha. So the most important, the foremost, the one blunder we have done, that Himalayan blunder. What that Himalayan blunder? That we have turned away from the Lord, turned away from the service of the Lord. So as a result, we are suffering, just like a citizen who transgresses the law of the Lord. He is now in prison house, Changi or Tihar there. Similarly, we have turned away from the Lord. So here he say that those who have turned away from the Supreme Lord Vasudev, being under the spell of the Lord's illusory energy, are eventually forced to give up their so-called homes, children, friends, wives, lover, which are all created by illusory potency of the Supreme Lord. Enter again their will into the darkest region of the universe. So we have turned away from the Lord. That is the Himalayan blunder we have committed. Therefore, we are suffering. And Lord is very merciful. He does not show the justice, and no, He is not here to punish us. He wants to revive us. How revive us? He is saying that Maya Sakta Manapartha. And by the process of yoga system, by linking the process. Although in first 6 chapter he has given so much other system, karma yoga, jnana and dhyana yoga, but at the end of the 6th chapter he told the topmost yoga system, how to execute it. That is whole idea of to liberation. Whole idea of Krishna to come, or all the Vedic literature is directing for the one point to liberate from the material existence. Why? Because material existence is full of suffering. The painful condition, very much painful condition. You say that in this beautiful verses, Prabhu quoted these verses, that 12, 40, 44, that Sansara Sindhum Ati Dustaram Utishchara. Sansara Sindhu means this material world, for a person who is suffering in the fire of countless misery. Countless misery means Sansara Dava Nalani the logo. It's like a blazing fire of material existence. When you say blazing fire, that means it's a painful condition. We do not want, but it will be enforced. Nobody goes and lit the fire in the forest. But automatically by the winds and the friction of two bamboos, the forest fire happen, and it will decimate everything, every living entity in the forest. Similarly, we do not want painful conditions, but the painful conditions are enforced upon our adhyatmic, adidaivik, adibodhi by our body and mind, by the demigods like Anabusti, Atibusti. So excessive rainfall or less of rainfall, Anabusti, Atibrusti, and by others. So we have always, this is a concomitant factor. Prabhupada say this misery is a concomitant factor. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke to this Sanatan Goswami, the place we went, this place, Dasaswamedha Ghat. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to Sanatan Goswami, Krishna bhuli sei jiva anadi bahirmukha, ateva maya tare deha sansara. Not is a Banaras, it is not Dasaswamedha, Rupa Goswami Dasaswamedha. Forgetting Krishna, the living entity has been attracted by the external feature from time memorial. Therefore, the illusory energy of Maya gives him all kind of misery in his material existence. So our whole idea, this material existence is called Dukkhalayam Asaswatam. It is a place of misery. Unless we are, Prabhupada say, unless we are convinced this fact that this material existence is a place of misery, it's not a place of comfortable place. The so-called endeavor by the science, by economic development, by political maneuvering to make it Sukhalayama is nothing but a vainless, or what we say that fruitless effort. It is unnecessary. It's full, and you cannot become, you cannot make it. It is already, what you say, Krishna has already stamped it or asserted this particular material existence is created to give us a chance to get out from these miserable conditions. Get out. So therefore, the so-called endeavor, howsoever sophisticated environment, gorgeous arrangement we create, it is all useless effort. By our scientific advancement, by our all other economic development, or any kind of political maneuvering, it is completely useless. We cannot surpass. It is said that it is very difficult. You cannot. Daivai isa gunamai mamamaya duratai. It's very difficult. Therefore, Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita to revive our, to get out, to deliver the mankind from the nescience of material existence. This is Prabhupada's exact word. To deliver the mankind from the nescience of material existence. That is whole idea. As long as we are striving to stay in this material world, thinking that it's a very good, no, then you are in problem. As long as we are thinking that I will be happy, I remain happy, I will challenge all the, I will try to counteract all these things, misery, no. How long you can do that? You cannot. So therefore, this is verses, one beautiful verses from Bhagavatam, we say that our main problem is not about the problem of the lives, like how I will get this appraisal of the salary or economic development. No, our main problem is spoken here by the Prahlad Maharaj, that main problem is that repetition of, real problem of life is the repetition of birth and death, which is like a wheel rolling repeatedly up and down. This wheel, however, completely stop when one in touch with Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in other words, by the transcendental bliss realized from constant engagement in devotional service, one completely liberated from the material existence. So here the same thing Krishna is telling, Maya Sakta Manopartha, in touch with Supreme Lord. That is yoga system, real Krishna consciousness yoga system. So therefore in 6th chapter, in the last verse, Krishna say, out of all kind of yoga system connection, Yoginam api sarvesam mat gatena antaratma manas saddavan bhajate joma same yuktatama mataha. He told the topmost yoga system where you can connect back, when you can revive our relationship, by which we can get out from the material existence, is called Bhakti Yoga or Krishna consciousness. And of all yogis, he always abide me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving services, most intimately united with me in yoga system, the highest of all. What is the yoga system Krishna is explaining? That the Saddhavan bhajate madgata antaratma manaha mai asakta manopartha. The next chapter, the next verse is starting with that Krishna consciousness yoga system. What is that? Maya asakta manopartha. Maya asakta manopartha. Asakta means develop attachment for Krishna. Rupa Goswami also says, Jaina tena prakarena manha Krishna nivasya. Somehow or another you develop the attachment. Now our attachment is not there. We have attached to so many things. We have distributed our attachment to so many things. Bahusakha, not one sakha. So different attachment, mundane attachment. So as a result, we are now entangled in action, reaction. Action, every action is reaction. Action, whether it's pious or impious, everybody has got that reaction for these things. So therefore, we are entangled in this. So Krishna is telling to get out from this Maya Sakta Manopartha. You develop the attachment. How you develop the attachment? That is called Krishna consciousness yoga system. How to develop? By Jogam Injan Madasraya, to under my protection, under myself. Just like a friend, you approach a friend, you are in a distress condition. You are in the just material world is the distress condition, SOS. So now you approach a friend and you tell, please help me. You surrender to friend. Yes or no? Similarly, Krishna said, Madasraya. You surrender under my protection. Or under the protection, supposing somebody may say that Arjuna has got the opportunity. So he is intimate friend of Krishna. But now where is Krishna? How can I take shelter Madasra? Under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master. So you have to practice this yoga. All our sadhana bhakti, morning, getting up, Mangala Arti, Tulasi Puja, Nrsimha Arti, Tulasi, all kind of activity, hearing, all the things, it is meant to develop the attachment for Krishna. We have turned away from the Krishna. The attachment is now dormant, just like a magnet. When magnet is rusted, it will lose its attraction. So that, therefore, this Krishna consciousness yoga system, or how to develop attachment by the process of purification. Krishna consciousness is a purificatory process. Therefore, Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, that is the process given. By process of hearing, we cleanses. But we cannot hear without Kirtan. Kirtan is not all about musical. Kirtaniya, Kirtanti iti Kirtan. Kirtanti means to glorify the Lord. This is also Kirtan. Because without Kirtan, you cannot do this Sravanam. How to hear without Kirtan? So therefore, this Kirtan, by giving all the hearing process, by glorifying the Lord and hearing process, that process is purificatory process. The rust, the illusory misconception, everything, the clouds, foggish philosophy. The foggish means the cloud, foggish morning. Today morning we are talking about foggish morning. So foggish means the hazy consciousness. That hazy consciousness will be cleansed by the process of Maya Sakta Manopartha Yogam Injan Madhya. Under the shelter of the Krishna or the spiritual master, we should practice Krishna consciousness. So whole idea of this practicing Krishna, practicing our temple program, is to develop the attachment for Krishna, asakta. When you develop the attachment for Krishna, then we can understand Krishna, we can get out from Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Jabeti Tattva. It's not so easy. Oh, I know Krishna, I went to Vrindavan, I went to Mathura, I went to Marsana, I know Krishna. No, in Tattva, in truth. In truth is very important. In truth means unless we take shelter of this process, Maya Sakta Manopartha, Manmana Bhava, Madhavakta, all this process of devotional service, one cannot understand Krishna, neither one can get out from the material existence. So we have to adopt this process, devotional service. That is the main things. Maya Sakta, Asamsam Samagraman, Jatha Gyasita Srinu. So Krishna is personally speaking here. You hear from me. Therefore, this chapter is called Knowledge of the Absolute. Because Krishna says in 647 also one line, Shraddhavan bhajate mam. This Shraddha cannot develop all of a sudden. I am now full of faith. Prabhu, I have faith. I am in the heart. Faith is there. Prabhu, why you are not doing? No need of chanting. I have got the faith. This Shraddha cannot be developed by all your sentimental thing. We have to adopt a process. Therefore, Krishna is showing his opulences, absolute of knowledge. Then how to attain supreme, confidential knowledge. Then opulence of absolute to 10th chapter. Why he is speaking, I am the boss. this is my energy, this is my material world, this is spiritual world. I am the both. I am the Maya Sakta. What is that? Mata Parataram Nanyat Kinchit Asti. Because if you know the Krishna, the supremacy of the Krishna, the opulence of Krishna, the knowledge about Krishna, we develop the surrendering. Our surrender will be like enhanced. Supposing Prabhupada used to give example, I know he is a rich person, you are also a rich person, but how much rich he is? Like Ambani, like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. Oh, I know Ambani, India, oh, Ambani is the richest. If you know that whole Ambani's money is nothing but one day of Elon Musk money. Oh, who is this Elon Musk? Let me. So that it invokes the surrender. The greatness of the God invoke the surrendering, respect. It enhances the, augments our surrender. Therefore, Krishna is explained, he is not parading his opulences. Oh, this is my thing. In the next verses and all, he is speaking about, I am telling you, Jnana sa Vijnanam. Knowledge, also practical knowledge. And he is saying that this is my material energy, Bhumi Apanala Vayu, and this is the spiritual energy. And both energy, I am the supreme. He is not parading his opulences. But by that process of revealing it, it enhances our surrendering process. Shraddha, you cannot just sentimentally get. No. According to Shraddha, one is Kanishta, one is Madhyama, one is 22, 63, 64. It is given. So this Shraddha is very important thing. Shraddha cannot be developed by this academic knowledge or any other. It has to be practiced, Shraddha. And that Shraddha, the beginning of the practice is sadhana bhakti. You cannot jump into Raganuga bhakti. I don't do anything but Radhe Radhe. Then Aparadhe. See, all Radhe Radhe, Aparadhe. See, that kind of gopis go, many times Prabhupada used to be very, chastised. So Gopi Bhava Club. So you cannot go to Raganuga bhakti, come to a Shraddha platform, highest Shraddha platform without practicing sadhana bhakti. So sadhana bhakti is a process of developing our Shraddha. Maya Sakta Manapartha Yogam Vinjan Mata. Therefore, Krishna says Shraddhavan Bhajate. Immediately he is coming to show his knowledge of absolute. Then, he should have given to 12th chapter first. Instead of 7th chapter, he should have bhakti. This is bhakti. These are the quality which enduring me. But he went to see his opulence. So his boss, actually. I am the boss of everything. Why? Because we enhances our surrendering process. Sadhana bhakti is first of all surrendering process. When you come to the highest stage, spontaneous love, then there is a difference. The sweetness is, the greatness eclipsed by the sweetness. That's a difference. So this is the thing, Maya Sakta Manapartha. So how to do this process has been given. Because we have no time, we have to let it go. The process, direct process. This is given by Prahlad Maharaj. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Bandhanam Dasam Sakyam Atmanivedanam Iti Punsarpita Vishnu Bhakti Chena Navalakhyana Kriyate Bhagavati Ada Tad Manya Adhitam Uttamam. So here, see, great scientists, they are thinking they are very learned. They are trying to create so many atmosphere, so many manufacturing, so many things in order to counteract the material existence, in order to counteract the painful condition of material existence. For Krishna is saying simple process. Who is the most learned person? Prahlad Maharaj is saying that he who is adopting this Maya Sakta Manapartha, the process of devotional service, 9 process of devotional service. By that process, one can get out from this material existence. Not by so-called scientific advancement. This is just counteracting your distress. This is not to root out, not to address these symptoms. It is not for rooting out. It is for just for the stopgap arrangement. That is also say that the beautiful verses. Forget where it is say that counteracting. They are thinking happy because of the grass. So they are thinking that counteracting the distress, that is happiness. 339. This is the scientific method. See, simply they are trying to be counteract. Grihesu kutta dharmesu dukkha tantreo atandritya kurban dukkha pratikaram sukham manyate grihi. So they are thinking that if I manufacture air condition, oh, I won't be so, I will get out from the problem. Vrindavan is excessive cold. They have room heater in MVT, but still people get sick. So this so-called counteraction has no value. The attached householder remained in his family life, was full of diplomacy, politics, constantly spreading misery. Restricted in his act of sense gratification, he acts just to counteract his misery. If he can successfully counteract such misery, he thinks that he is happy. Oh, December month, I am getting 2 months salary. I'm happy. So this is kind of, this happiness is just counteracting some kind of economic development, some kind of appraisal. I have excessive cold, I bought a air condition. I have excessive heat, excessive heat, I bought some air condition. Excessive cold, this kind of called counteracting the misery. That is not real thing. Real thing is that by bhakti one can get out from the whole idea to get out from the material existence. Spirituality is not addressing the problem of the life, but problem that is life itself. Problem that is life. So Bhagavad Gita is not addressing, oh, you have to counteract this yoga system. No. How to get out from this problem? The life itself is a problem, because we are existing in a, Prabhupada introduction is giving, we are existing in a non-existential atmosphere. Therefore, we are threatened every moment by this non-existential atmosphere. But usually you should not be threatened, because we are spirit soul. We are indestructible spirit soul. We are not the human being on spiritual experience. We are spiritual being on human experience. So that's the difference. So we are spirit soul, somehow pathetically entrapped in this material, excruciatingly painful material body. Therefore, we are suffering. And when you are counteracting, we are thinking we are happy. I got married, we are happy. But this marriage comes with so much baggages of responsibility. So this counteraction is a temporary counteraction. This is not actual, you are not addressing the root. Therefore, Krishna telling here, you hear from me, Maya Sakta Manapartha. You can understand me. By that understanding, you can get out. Janma karma cha me divyam, evam jo beti tattva. Tatya deham punar janma. That is the real problem. How to solve this problem? The so-called things, happy with 2 months salary, happy with this bank balance, nothing. It's a matter of time, matter of time. Recently, what happened is Narahari Prabhu's relative, he was just going in a no entry something, and very speeding it because his wife was late to office, and suddenly hit, they're closing at that time, hit and he died. Padam padam yad vipadam nate tesa. Samashite pada pallava plabam mahata padam punya jasandra. But bhavam vado vacha padam param padam 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 yad vipadam. Anytime anything happens, we are blind actually, blindly we are going. Our is blind. Here everything is very uncertain, unpredictable. Anytime anything can happen. But still, if you see that eternity of time, our lifespan is like a tiny dot. And in this very little span of time, we allow excessively deviated from the goal of life, which is go back to Godhead. That is a Himalayan blunder, gargantuan loss. That cannot be accepted. Very tiny, our lifespan, eternity of time. And we allow all kind of deviations. This is not good actually. So therefore, we should be more concentration. As New Year is approaching, we should be more concentrate. We should vow that we should always read Bhagavad Gita. We finish our Bhagavatam every day. This kind of vow we should do. So under the guidance of the senior devotees, so we can advance in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said, do not stay for, my Guru Maharaj used to say, do not stay for next life. Finish your business this life. This material world is like a stinking place. In a toilet, if you go there and buy a very nice perfume, the French perfume is very, very good. Very expensive also. The French perfume, if you buy Gucci and all the things and sprinkle, can you make it a nice place? No. It's a stinking place. So material world is a stinking place. One cannot make it a Sukhalayam. So therefore, instead of endeavoring, what is that verse? Tassevaheto praiteto kovida. Instead of all the trying to change our fortune by so-called maneuvering political economic development, so much, investing your time, rather we should engage in Krishna consciousness. One cannot get 1 sense more what he is not destined. Whatever is destined, he will get it. If you go to Vrindavan also, you cannot see Vrindavan. Kunti Mata, he could not see. So everything is destined, You cannot get everything, whether dukkha or sukha, nobody coming to the Lord and approaching, please give me some unhappiness. Like Kunti Mata. No. Everybody wants happiness, but unhappiness comes. Similarly, the happiness also will come. Therefore, he say that it's a beautiful verses. We should not unnecessarily waste our time for this, what is that? 1518. Tasyeva heta, Prabhupada's favorite word. He used to, Tasyeva heta prayatita ko vita na labhyate yad brahmatma paryada, tal labhyate dukkhava anyata sukam, kalena sarvata gavira ramhasa. So here it is said that person who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for that purposeful which is not obtainable even by wandering from topmost planet Brahmaloka down to the lowest planet. As far as happiness derived from sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time. Just as in course of time we obtain misery, even though we do not desire them. So do not endeavor all the things, whatever you understand, but invest your time to Maya Sakta, to develop the attachment for Krishna. Develop. Chanting is nothing but developing the attachment Krishna. By Shravanam, Kirtanam, process of hearing. Fasting, beginning stage, there's a beautiful verses, NOI 8, you say that, Shravana dasa. Fasting is beginning is the Shravana dasa. It's like, if fast in the beginning, you should try to do this one. What to do? That Shravana dasa means hearing. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati say that fasting you do this. What is that? So the Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has commented as follows upon this word: one who has not yet developed interest in Krishna consciousness should give up all material motive, train his mind by following the progressive regulative principle, namely chanting, remembering Krishna, his name, form, quality, past, and so forth. In this way, after developing a taste of such thing, one should try to live in Vrindavan, pass his time constantly remembering Krishna. So in the neophyte stage, one should always engage in hearing Krishna Katha. First and foremost, one should hear Krishna Katha. Prabhupada say that also. How I was initiated, I was simply hearing. My Guru Maharaj saw me, that person. Prabhupada said, I was not understanding what he is saying because it's very high level. Still, he saw me that I'm interested in hearing. So, hearing is fasting Krishna Katha. If you have no hearing, means you should know you have a spiritual disease. You are spiritually diseased because you have not developed the appetite for hearing Krishna Katha. So, this is called Shravana Darsa, the stage of hearing. And by constantly hearing transcendental holy name of Krishna, hearing his transcendental form, quality, pastime, then called Bharana Dasa, accepting. Then one can easily able to chant in ecstasy. Otherwise, the chanting also very mechanical. When you hear, then you chant, it is more good. Rupa Goswami says that Akhila Shruti, what is that word? Very nice. How much glories every day, if you hear the glories of chanting given by Rupa Goswami, very nice, that Satru Chedaka 31 or something like that. In that, in purport, Akhila Shruti Sara, very nice, Nikhila Shruti Sara, Rupa Goswami one. The glories of chanting. So, if you know, if you always hear, then you will chant. So, hearing the glories of chanting, hearing Bhagavatam, then it will urge you to chant properly, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Finish your round, fix up a round. Otherwise, Mangalarti, even our Dham Jatra, Siddhandan Prabhu used to conduct Mangalarti. Not many people come, 15-20 people used to attend. So, because we lost the appetite of hearing, then we will lose the appetite of chanting. So, the better struggle in chanting is better than struggling in mother's womb. So, better you chant. Otherwise, struggle also, whatever little struggle. But struggling in mother's womb is very, very painful. Very, very excruciating. So, in this way, you should come to the stage of remembering Krishna. Then you develop the attachment. Develop attachment. It's not like easy to develop attachment. Rupa Goswami has given that not easy. It's like Adau Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha. You should come to temple, have Sadhu Sangha. Then Bhajana Kriya. Then you should get initiated by spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master. Then Anartha Nirviti, all the Anartha. Artha means which has got value. Anartha means, value means ultimate goal of life, going back to Godhead. Anartha means that blocks our Artha. That blocks to go back to Godhead. That blocks to obtain the ultimate goal of life. That is called Anartha. So all the Anartha, all kind of material attachment, excessive attachment is not good. Particularly excessive attachment to women and wealth. Prabhupada say 1 to 17. He was this excessive attachment to women and wealth, an impediment for the progress for a devotee to go back to God. And many of the stalwart retreat from the path of liberations due to this fell victim and retreat. Therefore, this is asakta. The asakta from the woman and wealth transformed to Krishna. My asakta manapartha. So Krishna is speaking you here, then your taste will be changed. In this way, you come to Nishta platform. Nasta prayasu abhadresu. By hearing Bhagavatam, first of all, hearing Srimvatam Sokotha Krishna Punya Saravana Kirtana, very auspicious, clean your all misgiving. Then you regularly hearing. Prabhupada said regularly hearing Bhagavatam, then come to Nishta, fixed up. After Nishta, then Ruchi will come, taste. Then after taste only Asakti will come. We have no taste. Therefore, sadhana bhakti is like obligations, not voluntary. So in this way, we develop the asakti. Then bhava prema. Asakti means already a dawn of prema. Like a dawn in the morning time, dawn. That dawn called asakti. You are entering into the prema. So this is a long process. So to follow under the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master to develop the attachment. This is the process. Not that one time I will come, I will do as I wish. Whimsically you cannot. Therefore, Krishna anukulena Krishnanusila means as Krishna likes. But how you know what Krishna likes? Spiritual master. Bona fide spiritual master knows what Krishna likes. He will guide us that how to develop attachment, how to approach Krishna, how to practice. Otherwise, it is procrastination, a thief of time. You delay. Kali Yuga is advancing. You will not get advancement of ISKM after 10,000 years. Then what you will have, you will not get the this opportunity. If you delay, then you will lose this opportunity of going back to Godhead. Therefore, Prabhupada said that you will lose this if you do not hear. Everybody in my every student, this last verse we will wind up. So Prabhupada said that all my students, Prabhupada's injunction, all the devotee connected with the Krishna consciousness movement must read all the books that have been translated, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita and others. Otherwise, after some time, they will simply eat, sleep, fall down from their position. Thus, they will miss the opportunity to attain an eternal bliss full of transcendental pleasure. That means going back to Godhead. Period. So, you will lose this opportunity if you do not hear, do not adopt the process to develop maya asakta manapartha. Yatha gyasasi tasrinu. You hear from devotees, hear from Krishna, hear from devotees. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So we will have Arati followed by the Prasadam. And we have also some announcement, 24-hour Kirtan, upcoming New Year. We are not celebrating New Year by boozing and drinking liquors, forgetting our all frustration of the last year. So we do not do that. We do in a very divine way, transcendental way of chanting 24 hours Kirtan. It invokes the auspiciousness. Sravanam, what is that word? Srimvatam Sokatha Krishna. Punya, sir. Punya means auspicious. It creates auspiciousness, invoke auspiciousness. That is real Happy New Year. What is there? There is no Happy New Year without God, without this 24-hour Kirtan. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Gantra Bhagavad Gita ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanand.